So today's video is about kayak safety and life jackets. I'm going to demo these 3 different life jackets. I've got 2 standard ones and 1 auto inflatable one that I'll demo, give you the pros and cons of each, and then I'll also do an in-water float test with each one. I got a brand new style life jacket. This is a Chinook. I want to try it out. It's got tons of pockets, lots of space. The back pad's made so it rides up above the seat. So I can't wait to test this out, see how it works as far as casting and all. Wanted to try a new style, Chinook life jacket. So we'll give this a good wearing today and over the next few weeks, and after that I'll do a comparison with this and several other life jackets I have for kayaking, and I'll even get in the water and do some float tests with them. This life jacket is a little more cumbersome than the other ones, but I will try to get used to it. It also seems to be a little hotter. I guess I'm just so used to that inflatable, which is like having nothing. You wouldn't think it would matter too much, but that extra 2 inches of rod butt length makes a big difference when you're using a 7-foot pole or a 6-foot pole with this Chinook vest, as far as it butting up against your chest, making it harder to cast and all. It's just a matter of getting used to it, holding your arms further away from you with a 7-footer, and using a 6'6" rod makes it a lot easier with the shorter butt. It's one of those things you won't know how good it is till you actually really need it. Okay, the Chinook in the water testing, so it's going to float me face up. See if it'll roll me over. Yeah, it'll roll me over too. Alright, so in the water, testing the Chinook. I could see sitting here for a few hours waiting on a rescue. This one's pretty comfortable. So if you're using the Chinook for paddling, there's no padding up underneath the arms, up underneath your armpits and all. So the Chinook is really great for that. You can paddle all day in comfort. And the padding's not too far in the front to where it bothers you, because you usually keep your hands further out when you're paddling. So as far as using it for an actual paddle kayak, the Chinook is excellent for that. Well, one of the best things about this new life jacket is it's got all kind of pockets. So when it's time to eat the bait, got my sardines in my survival vest. This green life jacket is from Bass Pro. It's their brand, and it's a really good life jacket for boating and everything. The only thing is, for kayaking, it's got padding all around the back that gets in the way of your seat. It's good for paddling because there's not much on the sides and it's open toward the top. And also the way the flotation is, it will hold you face up in the water. So it's a really good life jacket, just not ideal for kayaking. This is the first one I bought when I had a set on top paddle kayak, and I enjoy using it. Used it a lot, but it's just not an all-day comfort type life jacket. Alright, this is the Bass Pro. Doesn't have as much flotation in the front as the other one. We'll see how it does. Doesn't seem to float me as high in the water, but it definitely looks like it'll keep me face up. Yeah, it'll roll me over on its own and keep me face up, so it'll definitely work. This one would be comfortable too if you had to wait hours for a rescue. So the Bass Pro and the Chinook both will roll your face up. The Bass Pro also makes a good jacket for paddling. Very easy to paddle for the same reason. There's not much flotation up underneath your armpits. Really makes it easy to stroke. The only downside to this one is that flotation in the back kind of gives you the forward lean all the time. Now if you had a set on top kayak without a seat back, it wouldn't be a problem at all, and that's where I started off with, and that's why I had the Bass Pro. That's what I used for years. A set on top kayak with no seat, just basically a butt well and a double-sided paddle. And this kayak jacket is really good for paddling also. So green life jacket from Bass Pro. Very good life jacket, just not ideal for kayaking. And of course, nothing compares to the comfort of an auto-inflating one. So these are so comfortable, it's like there's nothing even there. You can paddle, no problems under your arms, no big bulkiness in front of you when you're fishing. The only thing is you got to consider is when this thing blows up, it'll be all constrictive around your neck and head. It definitely will float your face up, but you got to think about, do I want to be in the water for hours waiting on a rescue with a life jacket up around my neck? So that's the only downside I can think of this. For comfort, ease of use, paddle ability, fish ability, this is the best. It's just that in an actual emergency when you need it, it'll be all up around your neck and all, and you have to decide, do you want comfort or do you want a safety factor that's built into the other type life vest? I think the Chinook is probably by far the best, but I've never had to really depend on one to say. So this is a great one for comfort. I will use it in the power boat all the time when I'm fishing by myself. And for kayaking, I think I'm going to stay with the Chinook. So here's the auto inflatable one. I'm not going to pop a $20 cartridge to see if it works, but I blew it up manually. As you can see, this one would be uncomfortable if you had to depend on it waiting on rescue, but it will work. This one actually keeps your head higher than any of them, and it'll definitely always keep your face up. So if this one deployed in an emergency and you were knocked unconscious, it'd probably be the safest one as far as rolling your face up out the water. So by far the most comfortable to wear if you're not using it, and probably the safest if you were knocked unconscious. It'll definitely keep your face up, but you got to depend on the manual deploy system. So good to test all three though, and this one will definitely automatically. See, even if you're down like this, it'll keep your head up and it'll automatically roll you over. And of course, it's pretty obvious that the inflatable one is the most comfortable of all for paddling. It's almost like there's nothing on anywhere. You don't have to worry about up close, nothing under the arms, nothing on the back pushing you forward. So you just have to decide, do you want the sure bet of a flotation vest? Do you want to depend on the mechanical aspect of an auto-inflating jacket or having to pull the manual cord? It's all up to you. The only thing I will say is it doesn't matter which type or kind, always wear one in a kayak. You never know when you're going to take that roll or that flip. So the Chinook, I think I'll wear this mostly for a long time and see if I get to like it. That inflatable might be the ticket though, for comfort and for being unconscious. An auto inflate device is nice, although these you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about anything mechanical not functioning. We're doing a video about the different types of life jackets I wear kayaking or in the boat, and I wanted to demo them actually in the water so you get a real visual of how they actually perform. Of course, the inflatable one is the most comfortable all the time. The other two that I use, they're comfortable to an extent, but they're nothing like that inflatable one. But you don't have to depend on a mechanical device to make sure it inflates. It doesn't matter what type of life jacket you wear in a kayak, but I suggest you wear one. Probably a good 50 to 75% of kayaking fatalities can be prevented just by wearing a life jacket, no matter what type. So till the next video, get out there and go fishing.